Howdy all, welcome to a live stream for, well, it's going to be a normal open all access live stream, but today the star of the show absolutely is going to be the JPX 925 forged. Everyone knew it was coming. Hope everyone has watched the video today. Is going quite well. At the moment we are on a grand total of 4,000 views, so not doing too bad considering it was only released about 5 hours or so ago. Seems like a lot of people want to know how well it performs and what it looks like compared to the old 923. I think there was a little bit of apprehension, shall we say, when it comes to the 925 hot metals which came out, which looked a little bit like they were polarizing, we'll call it, in the looks department, and so I was looking forward to the 925 to see what they've done, and wow, okay, I'm glad they haven't copied the chrome bit on the toe. It does look much nicer. So we have the chat going. We are going to be talking about a little bit to do with the forgiveness side, the radar charts, all the information that you saw on the review. And if you guys want to ask any questions about the review in particular and anything we're going to be talking about, we are not going to be on for massively long because, again, this is going to be watched by normal people and not just the normal members and subscribers, and so know the general pattern of the live streams. So we will be as concise as possible tonight. Let's get the chat going. I'll tell you what, I might get the chat a bit bigger if we struggle to see it. But we have Neil's in the house first of all. Neil's wins. Evening chaps, Mizzy's a star tonight, it is. And then we've got Supra Ilicus. Evening, just finished watching the review. Stunning iron. It is. It's very good. Carl, hello Carl. Greetings Earthlings. Adam, I still don't think you've had your login details, Adam, or at least logged on. Not quite sure when it comes to the website. More about the website in a little bit, but welcome, hope you are well. Adam, Mr. C, evening, fantastic looking, aren't they? Well, that's the gap wedge, and yep, I agree. They do look a lot nicer than the hot metals. Although I'm starting to come around to the hot metals, although I'm not still, yeah. Mark M778, thoughts on more forgiveness JPX 925 forge versus the MP245. Right, so I have got on my list of, yeah, all those. I've got a list of videos that I've been requested via all different means of communication about what type of irons to compare this 925 forged with. So that is on the list. So yes, that will be, I think I'm going to be busy till around about January next year doing comparison videos. Mr. Mumble, hope you are, Mr. Mumble, well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all. Dom says, good evening, guys. Good evening, Dom. Hope you are well. Mario says, hi, Jay there. Or hi, Jay, hi there. I had the 93 forge and couldn't get over the difference in feel between short and long irons. They were not too forgiving. I don't want to give too much away about the 923, 925. I haven't done it yet, so I can't necessarily. But what I will do it in the most objective way possible. I will do the full heat map side of things. I haven't actually got the hot metal, no, the forge for the 923 side on the database. And so if anyone who's watching doesn't understand what the database is, so on www.askgolfnut.com, that is the website where I've effectively restored all this information. We've got 50 or so irons down the database, and everyone that is either used to be YouTube members. I'm trying to get away from YouTube members now, so any YouTube members that are still here, if you wait for your billing cycle to finish, cancel and then do the same thing onto the normal website. You can subscribe and go join on the website. Much easier platform. Be doing everything on the website going forward. And so on the website you have all of the information there, all the heat map comparisons, the radar chart comparisons, all the advanced data where you've got flight characteristics differences between all irons, because not all irons hit the golf ball the same, or you hit the golf ball, but at least launch the golf ball the same. Some launch higher, some launch lower. we're talking loft for loft adjusted, so we're not saying, well, one will launch higher because it's got 34 degrees. This is loft for loft adjusted, effectively at center of gravity tracking. They spin more, spin less, that kind of idea. Some have faster faces and some don't. So depending on what your requirements are, especially if you're a slow swing speed golfer, you need the fastest face and also the highest launching iron possible. If you're someone who uses a lot of the face, you're going to need as much forgiveness as possible. If you're someone who uses a particular part of the face, be it toe or low or something like that, again, that's why the information's on the website for you to choose all the different irons, and they're all been mapped. The 923 side I don't think has been mapped properly, so I will have to go hit them all to get some data sets for them so we can get some heat maps to be able to do a full-on one against the other. So it will be a full-on objective review. Right, we got Carl says, watch your language, Andy. I don't know what that's going to be about. Dom says, nah, let's go for another record. No, let's not go for another record. Last week, we will not say how long last week's live stream went on for. Quite some time. And Dan says, greetings from across the pond in Texas. Greetings, Dan. Hope you're well. Adam says, I haven't vlogged on yet. Sorry, I've had a mental few weeks. It's absolutely fine, mate. No worries. Mario says, your review this morning shows this model to be very forgiving. Surprise. No more than I. Generally speaking, it is a player's distance iron. This is firmly in the category of player's distance iron. Not a game improvement iron. This is a player's distance iron. This is a bridging iron. And it is doing very well, which is quite unlike this kind of style of iron. But it's not a full-on what you would say like a P790, a 245, an I530, or anything like which is a blade looking like idea, but obviously bigger, not a hollow-bodied in that sense. It is a slightly different technology idea. So Darren says, ready to break last week's record, Jay? Absolutely not. Rick says, hello from Rick in Canada, or hello from Canada. That's Rick. Matt says, or Matt Woods Fishing, tremendous review yet again. The forgiveness test is awesome for me. The 925 Forge is more forgiving than the 245 and spins more. Feel is on the money. That is also on the list of ones to 923, 925, 925 against the 245. Again, if you want P790 against it and stuff like that. Just get into the comments on the video, guys. Not on this video, on the actual YouTube video for the 925 Forge, and just keep peppering away at the comments there. I will pick them up and I'll add them to the list. Down to say my 7.9 swing speed is around 80 miles an hour. Well, in that case then, when it comes to the information such as that, you'll be glad to know that you can absolutely get away with an 80 mile an hour swing speed when it goes 150 yards carry and 46 degrees descent angle with a 7-iron. Doing very, very well. What we got? Client Bill Rick says, will you be reviewing the new Callaway Elite irons? Absolutely plan to, yes. Carl says, hi Jay, I'll get those logo files over to you tomorrow. Been back and forth to hospital. Ooh, that's that. Having my brain tumour out on Monday. Well, Kyle's claim to fame is larger than anyone else's tonight. It's not necessarily the one that you'd really want to have a nice claim to fame, but all the best, buddy, all the best. Nobody panic, benign and basically as easy as it gets, easier than driving. We'll find out, but all the best anyway. Dan says my 7.9 8 mile an hour, my peak height is around 80 feet. Okay. So we're 10 feet or so short of what optimal would be. That could be de-lofting, etc., or low strike. As a pattern, increase in peak height with irons. Should I look at my club delivery or changing equipment to suit? Both would absolutely help. Would more lofted irons help? Yes, from a loft point of view, but again, different golf clubs will launch the golf ball differently. So if you are looking for a like for like, don't change your swing, looking at just equipment, that's why we have the advanced data on there, and somewhat the radar chart. The radar chart that we'll be showing, I mean, effectively the radar chart, guys, that we saw up in the review is that where you have a look at the toe forgiveness, heel forgiveness, low forgiveness in general. At the bottom there is face speed, distance potential, face spin rate, and launch factor. The launch factor, which is like 10 o'clock on that radar chart on the top left hand side, that is basically how much loft for loft adjusted a golf club will launch the golf ball. And so this is the whole idea. They all do things differently, so that's why you pick from the list. It's all been measured. They all do things differently. I don't know any other person that actually measures, or any other channel that measures the information as the way that we do. So What we got? Eric says, is there any date on forgiveness of the pitching wedge through 8 iron? From what I understand, they're basically different clubs from the more techie 7 to 4 iron. Absolutely, you are right. But if you remember, when you get into anywhere near this is the gap wedge. I've got the 9 iron over there as well. But forgiveness, as soon as you start getting this much loft, I mean, there is a fair amount of loft on there, as you can see. I mean, yeah, that's a gap wedge. But if you go pitching wedge, 9 iron, definitely 9 iron. 8 iron, depending on obviously how strong that set of irons are, is generally speaking the point of where forgiveness starts coming in. As soon as you start having loads of loft, forgiveness doesn't work in the same way. Hence why you'll see manufacturers generally bleed out the technology, because it doesn't work the way they want. Even arguably 7 iron, the technology within the 7 iron doesn't work as well as it does within the 4 iron. Because we're talking very much so protecting the golf ball going left and right and stuff like that. When you've got so much loft, it's protecting against going up, where there's not that much forward tech going on. So that's a very, very rudimentary explanation of a very much more complex answer, but within reason. You don't necessarily have to worry about your forgiveness, especially on your high lofted irons, because deep lane will win on that one all day long. And that's why it's so much harder for you to curve your sand wedge than it is your driver. Right, Evan says, start the super chat goal. No, let's not start the super chat goal. For anyone who doesn't know what the super chat goal is, YouTube have started this stupid thing on that top left hand side of the chat of where if you want to, you can set a target of how many donations you get and stuff like that, and it's kind of daft. So I wouldn't be so presumptuous that I would expect anyone to donate and give their hard-earned few dollars and stuff like that. Whenever they do, it's greatly appreciated, but no, I've done it once as a joke, a bit of fun. Yeah, I won't be doing it anymore. So we have Adam said, all the best with your operation, mate. Absolutely. Everyone wish Carl all the best on that one. Best of luck, Carl. Prayers out for you. I can see everyone's doing that. Lovely. What is the secret iron everyone is talking about? Was it a secret iron? That may well come tomorrow, if that's what you're talking about. Obviously, it's secret. There you go. I think everyone's jumping on that one. Carl J26 says, when you've answered my question about high launching 3-wood, you said the Max and the G. I'm sure you meant ST Max and SGG going to hit them after work. Yes, so obviously now the only, in the Mizuno range anyway, the only fairways you've got in the range is the Max and also the G. The Max by far is a completely different fairway wood to that, or woods in general to the G. The G is a lower spinning, lower launching golf club, where you've got the Max is a slightly higher launching, but a much more forgiving, much more forgiving golf club. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cole. You two drink. There we go. Carl has very kindly donated $5. Thank you very much, Carl. Much appreciated. I'm gonna have to scroll up. I will not scroll up on this chat, because obviously the whole idea is not. But there's very quickly, we are talking about the overlay for the Forge. That is the heat map overlay for the JPX 925 Forged. And to some people, they may look at that and see, wow, there's an awful lot of red there. Well, yes, there is, but in golf club terms, that is rather good. I'm not going to put up another golf club of which is not so forgiving. That whole idea is not to showcase how bad something else is. We are talking about how, well, we're talking about the JPX 925 Forged and how good or bad it is, and that is rather good. You have got that red strip down the top, down on the side there where it comes to the heel. If you haven't watched the review, guys, that there is basically, please don't hit me there, because you will be interacting with the hosel. Because of the curvature of the hosel, etc., and obviously curvature of the golf ball, there's a certain point of where you can get to on the heel before there is interaction with the hosel, and which is obviously quite bad. And so 21, 22 millimeters, depending on the golf club in question, you are looking at, yeah, please don't hit me there. But effectively, look, you can go all the way to that point, dangerously close to that point, and it's still green. Green is good, yellow is absolutely fine, orange is, and red is, no, don't hit me there. So in this golf club, you have basically got to be hitting it off the scoring lines for it to be bad. And honestly, when you've hit shots off of that part of the face, that's bad. It's not good. Not good at all. But I don't know many golf clubs at all. And I will say the most forgiving iron I have ever tested is the Hot Metal Pro. Same technology in the JPX 925 forged as the Hot Metal Pro. And you can see the size of that green blob. The green blob in that little kind of dot in the middle was the middle. And effectively we're talking after that is how much drop off do you get of your ball speed. Your ball speed is a massive, huge ingredient to you being able to keep your distance up when you miss hit. So it's somewhat different to a wood. A wood has got roll and bulge, a curvature to the face, and because of such, when you hit it, say high on the face, low on the face, heel and toe, it will set the golf ball off in a slightly different direction. High on the face, it will launch it higher with less spin. Say hit it off the heel, it will launch it left for right-handed golfer. It'll launch it slightly left with some cut spin, and no different to the toe, it will launch it slightly right with some draw spin, in the aim of trying to get it to target how it was designed to hit. Flat-faced irons, you haven't got that. So ball speed is your number one factor of trying to keep retaining or retention of that distance. And so that is rather impressive. From a forged smaller iron, the forged, which is that one there, against the Hot Metal Pro, which is that one there, the Hot Metal Pro is just brilliant. It is the most forgiving iron that I've ever tested. The heat map on that, the retention of ball speed from weird and wonderful spots is hilarious. It is like different planet funny. Now, even if you go down, I'll get rid of, and I actually didn't put this one on here, should have done really. This would be a really good one as well. So this is the Dusty. Need to clean it. This is the Cobra Limit 3D, and previously to that point of where the forge come on, that one there, this was the daddy, absolutely, and this still is a ridiculously good iron, like ridiculously good iron. But as you can see, from when the websites pop up with all of the forged irons and bits and pieces for you to buy, the difference in price between the Cobra Limit 3D is somewhat different to that of the forged. We'll just say that. Now, the one thing that the Limit 3D does have over every single other manufacturer, and I will still sing the praises of Cobra on this one, absolutely, is the Limit 3D has the potential to change golf custom fitting for golfers forever going forward. The fact that they potentially can start building custom heads to suit the center of gravity requirements for a golfer. So not just we're talking, say, in a driver, we're talking like high spin, low spins and stuff like that, and even to a certain extent draw bias, etc. But they can start doing that with irons and how to move the center of gravity, because they can physically 3D print an art. It's just a brilliant thing. So from that basis alone, the Limit 3D still wins on what I feel is like needle moving for golf. On a general day-to-day, people that aren't going to spend ridiculous amounts of money on golf clubs, the new winner from a player's distance side of things, especially within the forgiveness side, is, I would say, without checking everything else, but I think you'd be hard pressed for the Forge not to win. Right, let's go have a quick look at some of the catch-ups. I will skip through as best I can do. What have we got? We're not doing. I've got to catch up with where we are. That's the Secret Golf Club. We're talking about that. Adam Barnes says Mizuno S3, probably 923 Tour replacement. I couldn't possibly comment. Not until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That'll be a premiere as well, guys. So if you want to join on that one, I will be on the chat. You can ask the questions as you are watching the review. It is an interesting one because it has been secretive, but not. There are information out there online if you really want to go and have a look at it, but I would suggest everyone wait until the reveal tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time. Get it in your calendar already. Right, so Teddy Stream says, just joined the 925 Forge, looks exciting. Absolutely does. Not only does it look exciting, this is a personal preference of mine. I much prefer this one to that of the Hot Metals. The Hot Metals look a little bit with a shiny bit up here and stuff. This hasn't got a shiny bit up here. It is basically exactly the same. There is no shiny bit whatsoever. It just looks, I think, really very, very nice, like properly nice. Have we got the still image? There we go. So that's basically what it looks like. I think personally it looks a rather nice iron. Somewhat different to that of the hot metals with the chromed toe and stuff. I'm not a great fan of them. Still not a great fan of them, but I think you'll agree. The forged does look nice. So, Teddy Stream says, I look forward to seeing the dark version as well. I am too. Absolutely I am. They have not arrived yet. They are on order. They are on order for everybody. No UK or European YouTube reviewer has got any of the dark. The only people that have got the dark finish is the American market, completely different market, completely different manufacturing process, etc. So they have them, I believe, but we haven't, unfortunately. But they will be coming, and if I can wait that long, I will try and do the 925 forged against the 923 forged, but with the black ones for a bit of fun. Dan says, I really appreciate your in-depth look at clubs. It really is helping me understand which clubs I should get instead of what marketing says I should get. There's plenty of marketing around, mate. So that's what the whole idea of what I do is, to try as best possible inform, and if you're going to go spend your hard-earned money, make sure you spend it right the first time. I am running, what's the time? Got to keep an eye on the time, 20 minutes or so. What we got? Carl says, I've been using the Ping i5-9i2 58, so awesome, good wedge that one. Adam says, I will always donate when your sound isn't working. I hope my sound's been working for a while. Carl says, PS, how did you guys manage 6 hours last week? I had to scroll through it to see if it was an error. No, that was definitely not an error. Super Liquor says, a game of the JPX 919, Hot Metal Pros. They are due for an upgrade. These instantly made the shortlist. Will be interesting to see the performance differences in the hitting bay. Absolutely, and also test the Hot Metal Pros as well. And then, of course, you can test them both together. And if you get on well with the forged, you can always think about, depending on what your launch conditions are, you can always think about going into the Hot Metal Pro, maybe in the 4 and 5 iron. Carl says, thanks everyone. Joe says, Mizuno is already advertising something big coming on the 6th of the 1st. Any insight to what that product is? Yes, just reviewed it. It's the JPX 925 forged. Although saying that, it is a week of Mizuno launches. We have a very kind donation from Carl. I've said before, but I want to say it again. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate that one. Matt says, hit the new somethings recently. Got some wallop for players. Like, yes, it has. Too compact for ability. I can't put too much. They can't say too much on that one. Can't obviously say for embargo reasons. Rick says, curious, since the new Forge club is chromoly 7-4, are those clubs basically the same as a 925 Pro? Yes, effectively, but one's forged, one's cast. SSE, if you're in the red, you've buried the club head. It's gone straight over my head. DJ Mitch says, what's your favourite Mizuno or other utility iron? I played MP20s and 5-9, but I need a 4 iron with a little more. Doesn't have to be a new model. I'm not a great fan, I must admit. The ones that are rockets are the fly highs. They are absolute rocket ships, and you can get them in 2, 3 and 4 iron. They are a very specialist golf club in my view, so I necessarily wouldn't use them. I go to a hybrid because I can move a hybrid in the same way that I can do a fly high. I can do a stinger, I can hit it high in the air. I can hit a hybrid higher in the air than I can do the bladed style of driving iron. So, but yeah, if you're looking in for that, I'd go for the fly high or high fly, what they've called them, the black head, dark headed ones. Evo says, Jay, do you like the something or JPX 95 Pro better? Well, the first one, personally for me, but when it comes to the forgiveness side of things, the other one, the 95 Pro. Carl says, even better than the i230, forgiveness-wise. Possibly, we might have to do a compare. Again, might be something I might have to add onto the list. Left Rough, how do JPX 925 Forge compare with the ZX7 Mark II? That will be an interesting one because obviously the ZXIs are out extremely soon, and so it will probably be better doing a review or compare against those two, but I'll be doing the ZX7 or ZXi7, whatever they want to call themselves. Yeah, there we go. Dom says, I'm back. Sorry, don't apologise. Evo says, Carl's going to put down a non-refundable $1,000 deposit to hit the Cobra. Yeah, that's a private joke from Discord. So yeah, I've got Discord again. You can go up there. There it is. Or Andy might pop it in the link at one point. There we go. Mrs. C, the HMP looks fractionally larger than the Forge. Is that right? It is, very much so. Evan says, Cobra is 3D printing wedges and MB blades for Max Homer. Yes, that's true. Be interesting to see what's coming. What have we got now? Oh, got to be careful. I don't scroll down to it. Oh, I curved my driver. Many people do curve their driver, unfortunately. Eero says, must be a new year. Jay's liking less shiny clubs. Andy, what's happening? Well, it's just, there's not many shiny clubs about and you have to go with the flow. Hosel Hacker, I've got a couple of questions for you, Jay, a little off topic from the clubs. I don't mind, huh? Andy says, something I've said. Eero Fryer had them on his video today. Okay, yeah, so Matt's different because he is paid directly from Mizuno. So he is paid by Mizuno. A very interesting position to be in. I personally will never accept money from a manufacturer on the basis of, if I'm going to continue to do club reviews, I find it I have my own personal preference when it comes to clothing, absolutely. Does not in any way affect the review that I give, because unfortunately for me, if I wanted to be biased, I can't because of that little thing down there. I hit shots into quad, I put the exported CSV, which is like a spreadsheet with all the exported data, straight into the heat map calculator, and out it comes. I cannot do anything about it. So it is what it is. I have my own preference, like people have their own preference of what car they drive. But if you were going to review a car objectively, it would make a difference if you drive a similar model as such, or at least from the manufacturer, as your day-to-day driver. Not pun intended here, you know, I can't get the idea. Right, what we go in. Let's scroll down a fraction. Andy J is liking clubs with less chrome. He's asking that same question here. Testing 245s against these, Jay? Absolutely, Charlie. I will be. They are on the list. Chrome is so 2024, says Andy. I still like the Wilson blades. Very 2025 they are. EG Camp says, which would you say is more forgiving, the JPX 925 forged or the M Pro? Oh, that's a very, very good one. Now, normally I would say give you an answer, but I would like always for everyone to pop onto the website, www.askgolfnut.com. That is where all the information of the heat maps you can directly compare. Now, generally speaking, before, all the information like of the heat maps, all the advanced data, all the radar stuff, radar charts, all the self-fit app, which is an amazing tool, you can compare two different golf clubs and put your delivery in there, and it will show you the actual physical flight differences between the golf clubs for your swing, which is like ridiculously good. So you can obviously at one point for a fitting, you can say, okay, this is how fast I swing, this is what I do, and check whatever golf clubs you want, and it will show you the flights for whatever iron. And the great thing is, it also shows you what point the 4-iron or 5-iron, or depending on what your speed, becomes non-functional. Anything going in at less than 40 degrees is not functional into a green, it won't stop. And so you can see there for your speed and your individual delivery at what point, give or take, you're going to be looking for your composition of your set. So when you go for custom fitting and you're looking at buying a set of JPX 925 forged, you already know within reason that you are going to be having some 6 to pitching wedge or 6 to gap wedge, whatever it would be. There is no point you going for a 5 or a 4-iron because you don't hit the golf ball high enough. It will be coming in like that, and it will skip out the back. So when the fitter may try and push you for a 5 or a 4 to get that kind of, that idea, which does happen, you'll already have that information to hand, and you can firmly say, no, thank you, that's absolutely fine. If I'm going to be spending any more money, it will be to replace it with some form of hybrid direct long iron replacement or a high lofted fairy wood. That's the whole idea from it, and it's brilliant. Now, previous that was all available for my YouTube members, obviously YouTube members with a monthly subscription as such, and I've now moved everything over to the website. You've got a website payment portal on there, which you can choose what level of tier access you want, and so you can check yourself every single one of the 50 or so irons that I've got on the database, and of course the 2025 products. They're all coming. It is silly season, and so all the reviews that I do, all of the information, all the heat maps, all the advanced flight data, and all of what I've just described will all be on the website for you to see, depending on obviously what tier access you want. Right. Let's go through thoughts on Honda moving to Cobra. Money talks, I think. I don't know how much what money's been changing hands, but I don't know. Be an interesting one. Cobra are already doing super well in most areas. You get somebody like that can only be a good thing for the average player. Anything for exposure for a company is always good. Delefra says, is a Strixon iron release later this week? I think it is. I haven't got mine yet, so it will be later on, which I'm kind of glad, because I've got 1,001 things to do at the moment. Hoswag, I'm looking for a carry stand bag that's light, but also, yes, right, very, very quickly. I said I was going to give you an answer to this, which you probably may not want to hear. When it comes to, so Hoswell Hacker says, I'm looking for a carry stand bag that's light, but also has enough for 14 clubs. Any ideas, Jay? Right. So the little bit of a thing I've got with this is I've never understood that. Why? Is because the difference between, within reason, having a golf bag which is big enough to carry 14 golf clubs properly, not without sort of like taking one golf club out and 7 come out with it, because they're all bundled down the bottom there with the grips. The problem with that is basically as soon as you have a bag which is able to, even the smallest ones within reason are able to carry 14 golf clubs against even like the pro bags, not the tour bags, you know, I'm talking even like the pro stand bags. The difference in weight between those isn't really that much, and people get absolutely, when they're shopping in the shop for bags, they'll go around and pick these bags up and go, cool, yeah, that's a difference. Completely forgetting they're going to be putting 14 very heavy objects in there, I don't know how many golf balls and all the other bits and pieces that they carry. And the amount of weight that is in a carry bag, absolutely, like 90 something odd % of it is absolutely what people put in it and not the actual item itself. So when you look at the actual static weight difference, after you put every single conceivable object that you put in your golf bag or on your golf bag, like range finders and everything else like that, the difference in static weight between the lightest one and even like the heaviest one, within reason, is so small. It's like kind of, we're worrying about a tiny little thing. So I've never really prescribed at all to the light carry bag idea. Sorry. What we got? Evo says, thoughts on the new Cobra driver? I know you like the adapter, but thoughts on the standard and K models? Possibly best to wait until review. Having 4 is very complex. It is definitely something that you absolutely need to go to custom fitting for. There is, that adapter is amazing. It's brilliant, and I think it hopefully, if the marketing goes well, it may change other manufacturers to think about going down that way, because it is a brilliant tool within a custom fitting environment. It's great. Andy Sai answered in chat, now he's making me guilty for not plugging the site. Well, there you go. Had your opportunity. Joe says, Mizuno Pro 245 less forgiving than JPX 9254. It's on the list. I'll definitely get to that one. I've got many on the list, but I have definitely got that one. Adam says, right, gents, got to shoot. Have a good evening. Cheers for the videos always. Adam, wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's 2 p.m. UK time. It's going to be I was just going to get it out for like you know, little bit of a sneak peek of the club, which is coming tomorrow, but I'm not allowed and I won't. So before we go, because I'm just looking at the time, it's 35 minutes, so we're going to have to finish very, very soon. Jerry says, I heard a reviewer say, why buy 241 when the 245s look the same, but give you more forgiveness? Do you agree with that, or do you think the blades feel better? Blades feel absolutely better. They absolutely are. Is the 245 more forgiving? That is an interesting topic, because obviously you've got to take many other things into account, like face speed, spin rate, launch factors, etc. So it's not just one front. With one, generally, it's very, very difficult to have an all-in-one iron. It's doable, but difficult. And so with the 245 and 241, it is much so, it's got to go down for your like custom fitting. You've got to have a blended set based on how you deliver and what numbers you're going to get. If you have a look at what kind of launch factor you get from your 245 over your 241, again, loft for loft adjusted, you'll be able to see then if 245 could potentially be used as a longer iron idea. Generally speaking, a 245 with its the technology within a hollow-bodied head is much more focused towards a faster, more va-va-voom face, and so that's not always the case, but that's the whole idea. Carl says, oh, Mr. Millwood, at your speed, you can handle a 4-iron. Dear me. Right, let's go quickly down to the bottom. Evo says, shout out for Andy for his off-camera work. He's outstanding. Absolutely he is. He knows how I feel about that anyway. Sam says, how about Mizuno drivers? That is coming Thursday. I've got a video for the Mizuno 2025 driver coming on Thursday. Andy says, I probably have the speed for a 2-iron, but I still have up to 6. Yeah, you know my views on 2-irons. Evo, is your 6-iron 6 degrees too handy? 37. Bags, unless you play with half a set. Oops, sorry, not 8. Well, 8 degrees aloft. 29. Anthony says, what up, GolfNut gang? Meetings out for half an hour. Wow. And even if Anthony wanted to say that in capitals, he's shouting that out. Hey, Anthony. Josh says, when's the new QI reviews coming out? Possibly not until the back end of January. So up to you. You can, I think tomorrow is the embargo day for TaylorMade. So I think tomorrow you are going to be absolutely plastered everywhere on YouTube with TaylorMade QI 35. You know what the marketing machine called TaylorMade and Callaway is going to be like. Right. What we got? Not the problem, it's stuff we put in them. Yes. Mrs. C, so thanks as always, Jay. Adios. Pat Bernot, subscribe to the channel. Hello, Pat. That pops up when someone has subscribed to the channel, which has their notifications or at least visibility of their subscriptions turned on. Not everyone has, hardly anyone has, so it's the reason that when people do subscribe, it doesn't come up there, because only certain people do. There you go. Thoughts on any 2025 Srixon golf balls? Like with everything, guys, generally speaking, especially with Srixon, it's very much of an evolution. I don't perceive there to be any difference, hardly at all, between the old ball and new ball. I think more so because of the 2025 Titleist Pro V1 coming out, certain manufacturers need to feel like they're staying current and have something to talk about, and that goes for all of them. No different to, I've got the Wilson balls over there and brand new golf balls. How much they differ between the old ones. That's Stream Elements, yeah, thanks. So small plug for the Sun Mountain 3.5. Been using it for a couple of months and it's certainly getting the job done. Well done, Sun Mountain. Very expensive, generally speaking, but good golf bags. And he says, holds up to some weather, well enough too. Oswald Hacker said, my bag's a heavy, big bag to start with. Yeah, that's, if it's like properly heavy, then yeah. But Charlie says, looking forward to your something video and review, Jay. Could you see a blended set working with a 925 Forge with loft bending? It'd be difficult because you've got 4 degrees to bend with, and I wouldn't touch the S3. I wouldn't crank them. So you possibly, to get them blended properly, will have to run the forged, possibly 2 7-irons or 2 6-irons, and then run the forged half-inch longer than the other S3s. And Andy's just basically said the same thing I've just said. PXG carry bag, good bag, but large. I love PXG bags. I mean, I personally do. That's my thing. Right, so going to give it a few more minutes and then we're going to go. We've got, Carl says, Jay, can can your thoughts about any recommended swing modifications for old guy coming back off surgery? Just a reminder, and this certainly can wait. Absolutely, we'll do it for another live stream. We'll talk about that, absolutely, because especially back problems, you want to try and stay away from twisting, from torsion, any kind like that. So we need the body rotating as one. We'll get into that into a proper long live stream that we normally have. This is a little bit more of a curtailed idea because it is the Mizuno JPX 925 forged. Deluxe hybrid bag. Do you know when PG440 comes out of the embargo? 14th of January. So I will be getting my samples, because it's just a little bit late with certain things, this week, no, Monday. So in a week's time, and it's coming out Tuesday. So the chances are I might be able to get the G440 iron done ready for the embargo day. It's the Tuesday, so tomorrow week. But I won't be able to get all the rest of them done. So I will be doing the iron first, then the 3 drivers. I think there's 3 drivers, 2 fairway woods and 1 hybrid, but they will all be done as and when. Right, so Mark says, how far back does your site go to show heat map like you showed for the 925 forged? So last year, basically we captured all the information last year. We had legacy data and new data, what we call the difference. Legacy data is basically capturing the information for all the individual captures that I used for the comparisons and also the full reviews. They were put into the heat map calculator to come up with, obviously, with all the mishits, because they were focused on mishits. So the legacy data, there was initially a little bit of concern over the accuracy or resolution of accuracy of the legacy data, because it's a very small amount of data points. But when we put it up in, I think we did as a test, we put the Wilson CB, Forge CB 24 on there to test. So we did the old legacy data, that was there, and I did a new data set, hit it all over the face, put that into a new heat map generator, and the heat maps look basically identical. So that was brilliant, because it showed us that even the resolution or the accuracy of the data, the heat maps from the old data sets, the smaller amounts, were just as good. Will it be absolutely as perfect as the newer ones? No, but also proved that you don't need to hit 150 shots to get the information that you need, which is also very good as well. So that's all of last year within reason. Anything that was current, bearing in mind, obviously we knew that there was 925 stuff coming out, so there are certain things that work. But bear in mind also there is going to be, so the 923 forge, I don't think was on the list. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But the 923 forge, I don't think is on the list, but it will be, obviously, when I do the information for the comparison, because I'm going to have to rerun a new data set. Right. That, I think we should call it a night, unless you guys want to go on for another live stream after this as a general chit chat, because I think that's enough for everyone. So thank you very much, everyone. The whole idea with this was basically just to showcase the new JPX 925 forged. If you want to know how well this works, I've got a full review of this one on my channel, where I obviously give it a hit into a simulator, 7-iron and 9-iron. Not the greatest of strikes, because I've still got a poorly knee. I'm still trying to work out a way that I can swing, not hurt my knee, which does make striking sometimes a little bit funny. But I've got the full heat map data on seeing how well this works in weird and wonderful parts. And I've also got comparison data from a point of view of the radar chart. And what I mean by radar chart, very quickly, when you compare the JPX 925 against the average iron, and explain just what this radar chart means and what it also means for the characteristics of the new iron compared to all the other golf clubs. Right, guys, thanks very much for watching. Appreciate it as always, and hopefully we'll see everyone again tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time, for the secret release, not very secret release, of the new iron from Mizuno. 2 irons, and then we've got the wedges coming on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we have the driver, the Mizuno 2025 driver option review coming. Hope you are, guys. Thanks very much, and we'll see you all again very soon.